Okay, back again. So we were talking about the American society and the condition in the USA. Prabhupada saw, he was shocked. He thought he was coming to, at first he thought an American wife would be so nice. And then he saw the conditions. Just to be able to take a bath every day. Yeah. It's a luxury in America. So what is the solution in that kind of civilization? What does it need?
Proper guidance?
Yeah, proper guidance. Then education, right? The proper guidance. Now a lot of people are starting to think about education today. They feel that modern education is a failure. They've got to really go through, they've got to make some changes. They've got to do something. It's just not
no transformation of character.
Yeah, no transformation of character, definitely. Yeah. What people value today, their sense of values are so twisted. I mean, Prabhupada said if even a small number of people will become Krishna conscious, just even if it's just a small number, it can have a good effect on the whole planet. Okay, so we're on text, going up to 13 now. Talking about a person who does not know the religious principles. If somebody said, oh, you don't have to, if somebody's on the throne of a king, he doesn't have to show respect to another king or a brahmana. So the king should respect the brahmanas. The brahmanas should also respect the king, right? There should be a mutual show of respect there. And Lord Krishna showed how to receive the brahmanas, right? Lord Krishna washed the feet of Sudama. Lord Krishna was very kind to the cows and the brahmanas. And when Narada Muni came to visit, then Lord Krishna received him. Prabhupada writes, Narada knew that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna knew that Narada was his devotee. But although Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Narada is the Lord's devotee, the Lord observed the religious etiquette. Narada was a brahmachari, a brahmana, and an exalted devotee. Even Krishna, while acting as a king, offered his obeisances to Narada. Such is the conduct visible in the Vedic civilization. And then Prabhupada goes on, a society concerned only with manufacturing new cars and new skyscrapers every year, and then breaking them to pieces and making new ones, may be technologically advanced, but it is not a human civilization. Somebody was telling me that whenever they bring out a new iPhone, some people just go mad. Oh, I have to get the latest iPhone. We become so addicted to technology. So, Prabhupada said, this is not human civilization. And then Prabhupada goes on to explain what is a human civilization. Human civilization is advanced when people follow the varnashram system. There has to be proper organization of society, civilization. Prabhupada was in Sweden. Maybe you've heard. Prithu Prabhu. Prithu, a great preacher. You know Prithu Prabhu? Yeah. So Prithu was in Sweden, and Prabhupada had come there, and Prabhupada was giving a lecture to the college students, and it was the 1970s, and there was a lot of unrest. And Prabhupada was talking about first-class men, organizing such society, having brahmanas and like that. And it's modern civilization, universities create fourth-class men.
Yeah.
Everybody becomes Sudra. And so some student stood up and said, so you are saying you are first class and we are all fourth class? Quite a challenging statement, right? And Prabhupada said to the boy, he said, I am fifth class because I've come to serve all of you. Prithu said he was sitting there, he was getting ready to jump on the guy and beat the boy and beat the man up, for asking this nasty question. But Prabhupada diffused the whole situation by a very humble reply. So that's the fact. We need to have good, qualified people to lead the society. There has to be people who can show an example to the world, how to act, how to live. Prabhupada said, a society without Vedic laws and regulations will not be very helpful to humanity. Such a society does not know the aim of life and the highest principles of religion. The aim of life, right? What the aim of life for most people, they're just simply thinking, make some money, right? In the USA, they're thinking about retirement, and they want to retire. Where will they go when they retire? They'll go to some warm place, go to the Florida or somewhere where the sun shines more, and they will walk on the beach there, and like that they'll pass the rest of their life till they die. Yeah, but people have no real understanding of any life after death. They never think about it. They're only thinking about just enjoying, try to enjoy and try to prepare for your retirement, save some money, get some insurance policy, you get some money when you get old, like people are thinking like this. That's the goal of life. So, trying to educate, trying to change people's ways of thinking, not a very easy job. People are so conditioned, they're so fixed in what they believe, what they think. Very difficult to change them. So then, going on, text 14 is very nice. They talk about a stone boat. The stone boat. And Sukadeva Goswami is giving this example. He said, the leaders who lead us to this kind of life, to this leaders, they're ignorant and they're following blindly. He said, the leaders and the people who follow these leaders, they're all like getting on a stone boat. And if we blindly follow these people, we will also sink. You go on a stone boat, it's not going to float very long, right? It's not like Lord Rama going to Lanka. He could throw stones and he could get them to float so that they could go over to Lanka. But here you've got a stone boat, it's just going to sink with all of its passengers. So those who mislead people go to hell, and the people who follow them also, they go with them. They all go to hell. Sukadeva Goswami is giving this example, the stone boat. So we do have a boat, right? What is the boat in the example?
Our boat.
Yeah.
Is gone.
Well, but no, there's a more general example.
Our body.
Yeah, right. The body, human body is like the boat, right? The human body is like a boat, and who's the captain? Huh? Who's the captain of the boat?
The soul.
Well, spiritual master, right? Guru. You have to have a captain in the boat. And the boat needs, what do you need to sail the boat? You need good breeze. What is the breeze? The breeze is
It's a favorable wind.
huh?
It's a favorable wind.
Favorable wind, yeah, but how do you get that? How do you get that in the example? The Vedas. The Vedas are like the wind. So take advantage of these facilities, right? The boat is helped across by favorable winds, which are the instructions of Vedic knowledge. This is all there in the purport there, text number 15, or 14. Text 14. The human body is a boat, the favorable breeze is the Vedic instructions, and the captain is the spiritual master. So if you get on a boat of stone, then you're going to have problems. Right? You're not going to get very far on a stone boat. So you don't want to follow any unauthorized person. You want to follow a genuine teacher. Unfortunately, Prabhupada said, unfortunately, although the American people are extremely eager to get out of materialistic chaos, they are sometimes forced to patronize the makers of stone boats. they have to, they take shelter of a stone boat. So Prabhupada said, you have to take the proper boat. You have to know what boat to get on. And if society is guided by political diplomacy, with one nation maneuvering against another, it will certainly sink like a stone boat. Political maneuvering and diplomacy will not save human society. That is the whole business of the world. Politics, diplomacy. You get all these things. The world leaders, they come together, sign some treaty. Useless. There's no effect on them. They cannot save the world. So Indra is saying he feels very bad. He wants to bow his head at the feet of Brihaspati. He said, now I shall touch his lotus feet and offer my obeisances unto him to try to satisfy him. But he's not going to be able to find him. He goes looking for him, but he doesn't know where to find him. Indra realized he was not a very sincere disciple. A disciple should never be a hypocrite or unfaithful to his spiritual master. So this, you can see text number 15, there's many verses, in the purport, Prabhupada quotes a lot of Shastra about the importance of taking shelter of the spiritual master. Acharya mam vijaniyam navamam yeta karachit. You should never disrespect the Acharya at any time. Should never think that Acharya an ordinary person. Familiarity breeds contempt. One should be very careful dealing with the Acharya. So, the Acharya means Brahmana. He has unlimited intelligence. He guides the disciple. So Krishna advises in Bhagavad Gita, you have to surrender to the spiritual master and be enlightened. So a disciple has to be qualified, spiritual teacher also has to be qualified. So Brihaspati was qualified, Indra was foolish. He made a mistake and he's going to regret it. Of course, Brihaspati was much more powerful than Indra. Although Indra is the king of heaven, Brihaspati has spiritual power. Indra has some power, but not as powerful as Brihaspati.
Indra, with his mystic powers,
Yeah.
could have easily known where his guru is.
They could not.
He could easily know, he can easily guess where his guru, because his guru got disappeared, right?
Yeah.
So he could easily know by mystic power he is at that place, right?
Yeah. Well, because Brihaspati is more powerful, so Indra cannot. His power is not enough to know about Brihaspati, right? although Indra is powerful, Brihaspati is more powerful. And when Indra goes looking for him, he can't find him. And he said Indra took the help of the other demigods. They're all trying to help him to find Brihaspati. But they could not find, and then they understood, definitely Guru is not happy with us, he's not pleased with us. And Indra was surrounded by demigods. So, he's very worried. Offended the Guru. The Guru is not happy. Nothing auspicious can come about. You don't please spiritualness. When Prabhupada would get angry, we'd always be afraid. Oh. We want to keep out of the way. So anyway, it happened that the demons, they hear about what happened. News travels, something goes wrong, you get the news, so, So hearing about Indra, when the demons heard, then the demons took advantage. Now's the time, make a war, attack the demigods. So they followed the instructions of their guru. And this was the success of the demons. That although they were demons, they had great faith in their guru. And that was how they came out successful. They could attack the demigods and they could defeat them. So the demigods all got injured. So when they're in trouble, then who did they go to? They went to Lord Brahma, right? And they're very humble. They've been defeated, so they come with bowed heads, and they're coming to get instruction from Lord Brahma. Their bodies were all injured, and they come to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma tells them, you can go up to text number 21. Lord Brahma says, because of madness resulting from your material opulence. He told Brahma knows what happened. You did not properly receive Brihaspati. Because he is aware of the Supreme Brahman and fully in control of his senses, he is the best of the Brahmanas. Therefore, it is very astonishing that you have acted impudently towards him. Lord Brahma is shocked that, you could behave so badly. He's such an elevated soul, and you've behaved so badly to him. This is very shameful. It brings more very serious. So we have to respect the spiritual master in all conditions. Brihaspati is their guru, but they did not give the proper honor. So Lord Brahma was aware, and he's condemning them. But the demigods were puffed up by their material possessions and disrespected their guru. So Srila Prabhupada, he's like the founder Acharya. Acharya means one who teaches by example. And Srila Prabhupada is the founder of the Krishna consciousness movement. So we always have to offer our respectful obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. And that's why we do that every day in the temple. That's a very important part in the morning program, the worship of the Acharya. and offering our obeisances there to the spiritual teacher. Whenever we go in the temple, Prabhupada is there, we offer our obeisances to him. So, this learning to respect the founder Acharya, and Prabhupada as the founder, he's the guru, he's the Shiksha Guru for all the devotees. So everyone has to honor Srila Prabhupada, right? This is important for us to understand. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we give importance to the founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. And we get initiation. The initiation is to bring us into the Krishna consciousness movement. So we come into the Krishna consciousness movement. And by initiation in the Krishna consciousness movement, then we can get connected to Prabhupada, who's the founder. So Lord Brahma goes on, text 22, because of your misbehavior to Brihaspati, you've been defeated by the demons. My dear demigods, the demons are weak. Having been defeated by you several times, how else could you, who were so advanced in opulence, be defeated by them? So Brahma's telling them, you've defeated them many times. They've fought many times before, and usually demigods would always win. But this time the demons defeated them. So Brahma said, how is it? He said, because they honored their guru and you did not. So they got the mercy of the spiritual master, but you did not. And when you disrespect the spiritual master, then you lose your longevity, you lose the results of your past activities, and in this way you're degraded. So this is true not only for the spiritual master, but if we respect a superior, then these things can happen when you disrespect some superior person. So Lord Brahma continues, he said, your enemies, the demons, were extremely weak because of their disrespect towards Sukracharya. But now they have worshipped Sukracharya with great devotion, they have again become powerful. And by their devotion to Sukracharya, they have increased their strength so much that now they are even able to easily seize my abode from me. So even Lord Brahma is worried that these demons are going to come, take away his place. So Krishna can give you everything, he can take everything away. It depends how much he's pleased with you. So how much we can please Krishna's representative, the spiritual master, that will determine how it will affect us. So their guru was very powerful. Shukracharya was very powerful. And Prabhupada quotes that verse. Janpataka Maharaj always likes to sing this. Mukam karoti vacham. Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So A dumb man can become a great orator, a lame man can cross mountains. A blind man can see the stars. It's all possible. By? Huh?
We get the mercy of
You
spiritual.
need the mercy of the Guru. You have to get the mercy of your Guru. And then you can be successful in life. So the demons, they had great faith in their Guru. Their firm determination to follow the instruction of Shukracharya. So his disciples, they're not worried about the demigods. They defeated them. And it's mentioned, kings or others who have determined faith in the mercy of Brahmanas, cows, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and who always worship these three, are always strong in their position. Alright, you want to be strong, we have to give proper respect, get the mercy, the Brahmanas, the cows, and the Supreme Lord. Very difficult. Take care of, please, the Brahmanas, and the cows, and the Supreme Lord. You know, to take care of cows, very difficult. And to worship deities. You have many deities also, difficult. You have to take care of them. And to take care of an ashram also. Take care of devotees, very difficult. They'll always criticize and complain. Oh, the prasadam's no good. Oh, this and that. So many things, you know, we'll get. So that the mercy, we have to keep faith, depend on the mercy of the Brahmanas, the cows, and the Supreme Lord. So, the demons did this. Lord Krishna, he's always careful to take care of the cows and the Brahmanas. We have to include Lord Krishna. Prabhupada said, at the present moment, all over the world, governments have no respect for Brahmanas, cows, and Govinda. And consequently, there are chaotic conditions all over the world. This is the condition. The governments are atheistic or very materialistic. They don't consider the spiritual welfare of the country. So although the demigods were very powerful in material opulence, the demons defeated them in battle because the demigods had behaved disrespectfully toward a Brahmana, Brihaspati, who was their spiritual master. And we actually see people like that, you know, when they're in Krishna consciousness, they can be doing very well. They can be doing very nicely. As soon as they go away from Krishna consciousness, go into material life and everything, they're finished, you know, their life is just terrible, just disaster. It's like that story called Puna Mustika Baba, again become a mouse, you know. At one point they're doing very well and they're very good and they're preaching and leading the kirtan and very enthused, and next minute they go off and somehow they're in Maya and they're just completely hopeless, you know. They become like mad people. And it happened. There was some people that became mad. They gave up Krishna consciousness. But so long as they stay in Krishna consciousness, their life can be auspicious. Alright, so then Brahma's going to give them some instruction. Told me you need to get a guru. You've no guru. So he said, you should go to Vishwarup. And who is this Vishwarup?
Son of Twasta.
Ah, yes, son of Twasta. And take him as your guru. But there's a problem, right? What's the problem? Vishwarup has some affection for the demons as well as the demigods. His father is from the side of the demigods, but mother is from the side of the demons. So, some affection, have affection natural. The mother and father, just like you're born in a country, you have affection for that country. You feel some pride in your country. We're thinking about our nation. So same way, Lord, the son of Twashta, Vishwarup, that he has some attachment to the demons as well as the demigods. But the demigods need a guru. And Brahma is telling them you should go to this man, that he's rich in austerity and he knows the Vedas and he can give you the mantras. So all the demigods have taken advice from Lord Brahma. They go to see Vishwarup. And Vishwarup, what's the situation here? Vishwarupa is much younger than them. You know, they're all senior people, they're the demigods, they're senior in the universe. So they're, and Vishwarupa is just a young man. But they're coming to him and they want him to be their guru. Can you imagine it? You know, when you were a young man, you know, when you're very young, and these older people come to you and, oh, Guruji, you know, very difficult. That's why nowadays in ISKCON they have their policy about things like sannyas, that you should be a certain age. You shouldn't be too young. In Prabhupada's time, Prabhupada would give sannyas to young men. Because in Prabhupada's time, there was no old men, they were all young men. So Prabhupada would give sannyas to young men. And difficult for them to maintain. Jayapataka Maharaj, he took sannyas when he was like 18. 21. 21? Yeah. 21. Okay. He took sannyas when he was 21.
Loknath Maharaj is 26.
Huh?
His own is Loknath Swami Maharaj is 26.
He was 26. Yeah, his 50th anniversary.
Yes, it happened.
Yeah.
Huh?
It happened recently.
Already passed, is it? Did you have it already?
Yeah, last year.
Huh?
Yeah, it happened last year.
So this year only, no? This year also happened.
No, until this year, I'm not saying.
Look at that Swami.
Yeah, Loknath Swami.
50
this year? 25. Yeah, 25.
last year.
Huh?
2025 it happened, Maharaj. December, yeah.
December.
Oh, December.
December.
December, that was it in December, yeah. Yeah, I knew it was coming up, yeah. Just last month. Where did they do it? Where they had it teaching? In Pandal. So like that, you know, and taking that kind of position of being guru, you know, being a sannyasi, you know, it's not very easy for young men. In the other sampradayas, like in the Madhva Sampradaya, some of the people, they took sannyas when they were 8 years old. But I heard that some of them, they're not in favor of it anymore. They want to stop it. It's very difficult for them also to maintain, Yeah. They have it, of course they have, like in Buddhism as well, they have the Buddhist monks, young boys. In the Buddhist tradition, even when they have young boys who become monks, they're given the same respect as the senior monks. They respect, because they see all of them as one, they're all the Buddha, the young boys and the older men, and they all sit together, they're all one. So, of course, a lot of them, they don't maintain it. They give up after some time. Go away. So anyway, here's Vishwarup, and they've come. The demigods are coming, and they're speaking to him. And you can see text 27. Beloved Vishwarup, may there be all good fortune for they're being nice to him, being very. We have come to your ashram as your guests. Please try to fulfill our desires according to time. We are on the level of your parents, right? So they're telling Vishwarupa, we're like your parents. Means you have to do what we say. You should do give us what we want. Right? Sometimes it happens like that. And so the demigods continue. The highest duty of a son, even though he has sons of his own, is to serve his parents. And what to speak of a son who is a brahmachari? Right? Vishwarupa was a brahmachari. So, as a brahmachari, doesn't have a wife to worry about, he doesn't have children, he just take care of his parents, right? The demigods are saying, serve your mother and father. And the demigods are like the mother and father. And then they go on and they explain the different people, how the guru represents the Vedic knowledge, the father is the Lord Brahma, the brother is Indra, the mother is like earth, and a sister is like mercy. And the guest is religious principles and uninvited guest. The uninvited guest is religious principle, and the invited guest is the demigod Agni. Excuse me. And then, so all of these things they're telling like that. They want to encourage Vishwarup how we should give proper respect to the father. Not only the father, the brother, the sister, family members, family ties. So now the demigods are explaining what we want. Text 31, they say, we have been defeated by our enemies, and therefore we're very much aggrieved. Please mercifully fulfill our desires by relieving our distress. Relieving our distress through the strength of your austerities. Please fulfill our prayers. They want. And then they explain his qualification. That you're aware of the Supreme Brahman, you're a perfect Brahmana, you're a spiritual master. We accept you as our spiritual master and director. By the power of your austerity, we can defeat the enemies who have conquered us. So, the demigods, although they're senior in society and they're respected and worshipped by people, But they've come to ask Vishvarupa to be their guru, to help them in their situation. So Vishvarupa was inferior to the demigods. But they want him to be their guru because they have a purpose in mind. Yes?
I have a question. I see, like in verse number 21, also here in verse number 32, it's again the saying that since you are completely aware of Supreme Brahman, so why do they again talk about Brahman? Why don't they just say you are aware about the Supreme Lord? So the personification aspect, like it just, we cannot see that many times.
Well, the Supreme Brahman is Lord Krishna, right? There's no difference.
Brahman can also be just the Brahman effulgence because...
No, but the Supreme Brahman means Param Brahm, Param Dham, Pavitram, Param... Right? Arjuna is saying you're the Supreme Brahman. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, he's the Supreme Brahman. And from Bhagavad Gita, Brahmano hi pratistham, I'm the basis of the impersonal Brahman. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with mentioning the Supreme Brahman. He's a Brahmana. Brahmana means one who knows Brahman. So, the demigods have come and they want this young man who's lower than them, on a lower position than them in society. He wants him, Vishwarupa, to be their guru. And we saw something like that in more recent times, right? We saw some who was learned and they came to someone who wanted them to be their guru. Person was not very learned.
So, it's Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur went to the spiritual master.
Yes, he came to Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji. Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji was almost illiterate. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhu, he's a great scholar. And he's born in a very great family as well, as the son of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And he came to Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji and asked him for initiation. And Gaur-Kishore thought, how can I initiate you? You're so learned, you're so great man, and I'm very low, I'm very unqualified. I did not want to initiate him. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati convinced him of his sincerity and agreed to it. Finally, not immediately, but eventually he accepted him, gave him initiation. So sometimes it happens like that, that the disciple has a lot of material qualifications, and you will come to this person who's a spiritual teacher. Now, I actually said that, if somebody's born in a high-class family, it's better they approach a guru who is also from a high-class family. It's better for them because they will have more respect. If he approaches an ordinary low-class person, then they won't have the same mental regard for them, unless they're very advanced spiritually. Because we'll think of, he's my guru, but what does he know? They may minimize the position of the guru. So it's mentioned in Bhakti Ratnakara that better they should initiate from somebody who is on their level materially, taking birth in a family of, if you're from a Brahmana family and you take initiation from somebody who's not Brahman, you think, So some people are very attached to this, the birth in the Brahmana family. Oh, we're Brahmanas, we're Brahmanas, we should get initiated. A guru should be a Brahmana by birth also. but not always. For Rupa and Sanatan, they were initially Brahmanas, but then they became Muslims. But Raghunath Das Goswami, he's not from a Brahmana family. He was not a Brahmana. Gopal Bhatta, Raghunath Bhatta, they were all Brahmanas. But Raghunath wasn't. Raghunath's family, they were Vaishya, they were rich people, very rich. And when Lord Chaitanya gave Raghunath the Govardhan Shila, then some people say it's because he wasn't a Brahmana. Brahmanas, they worship Shaligram. But Lord Chaitanya gave Raghunath Das Govardhan Shila. Some people say, because he's not a Brahmana, he cannot worship Shaligram. Actually, it's not like that at all. Govardhan Shila is Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya himself was worshipping the Govardhan Shila. So anyway, text 33, the demigods they're talking to Vishwarup and they want to encourage him. They say, don't fear criticism for being younger than us. You know, people may say, oh, he's just a young, how could he be a guru? He's so young. And they say, this etiquette does not apply in the Vedic mantras. There are different ways in which someone is senior by age. And it's not just by age of the body. Someone is maybe senior by education. Somebody may be senior by someone may be senior by realization. Someone may be senior by just austerity. And someone may be senior by responsibility, just managerial responsibility. So it's not just age of the body which is important. You have to consider what they're actually doing and what they're capable of doing. There's some young people, they're very realized. They have these young people give katha, right? They have these young children, sometimes they come and they give katha. I don't know, I've never heard that, but I've seen posters of them, you know, the children in Vrindavan like that. They give katha. Then we have the children, I heard Vrindavan temple, Krishna Balaram temple, they have the children do kirtan every Sunday or something. So they're encouraging Vishwarup that although you're junior to us, he says, but still you can be our priest because you're richer in austerity and you're advanced in chanting Vedic mantras. Even though he's younger, he's been chanting a lot of Vedic mantras. So the demigods, you know, they haven't been bothering so much to chant Vedic mantras. Maybe they're having more sense gratification or whatever. You don't know. They have other things to do. But anyway, Vishwarup, he's got this qualification. The Lord Brahma's already told them, go to Vishwarup. He's rich in austerity and he knows the Vedic mantras. He can do it. So age is not so important. The material body is not so important. You know, we don't look at the material body. There's a verse like that in the Upanishadamrita, right? It says, just like the water in the Ganges may be full of bubbles and foam and mud, but you should bathe in the water without considering the condition. In the same way, the Vaishnava, he may be handicapped, he may be lame, he may be has some material conditions, you know, which don't appear very nice. We think, oh, this person, you know, he's got some heavy karma or something, then how could he have Vedic knowledge? But if he's able to enlighten us, to give us the truth, then we should accept it. Just like they say, a woman, even though she's born in a low family, but if she has good qualities, then she can make a nice wife for someone. You don't consider just the birth, what she's born in, but you have to see the qualities of the person. And the same way here with the spiritual master. It's not just the body, the physical age of the body which is important. You have to consider his qualification. And his qualification is, he's learned all the Vedic mantras and he's done a lot of austerity. So, this was explained also by Lord Chaitanya when he met with Ramananda Rai. And Prabhupada quotes it in the purport there, text 33. Right? Ramananda Rai, what family was he born in? Yeah, some lower class family. And was he a sannyasi?
No.
No, what was Ramananda Rai?
He was a minister.
Huh? He was working in the service of Maharaj Prataparudra.
Yeah.
Maharaj Prataparudra had sent him to South India, and he was there down at the Godavari, that region there. He was taking care of part of the kingdom of the king of Puri. And so he was like a grihasta, and he was from a Kayastha family, like they were doing office work, you know, serving in the government. So he was very educated, very learned, and he was given the responsibility to take care of that part of the kingdom by the king. So Lord Chaitanya met him, and Lord Chaitanya put questions to him. So Ramananda Rai said, he said, why are you asking me questions? He said, you're the sannyasi, you're the brahmana, and sannyasi. He said, I'm not a brahmana or sannyasi. He said, I should be asking you questions, not that you're asking me questions. But Lord Chaitanya said, Kiba vipra, kiba nasi, shudra keninae, ye Krishna tattvavet, se guru hai. It does not matter if you are a vipra, meaning a brahmana, or a nyasi, a renunciate, or a sudra, or just a laborer person. But if you know the science of Krishna, if you know Krishna tattva, then you can be the spiritual teacher. So on this principle also, the demigods have come to ask this Vishwarupa to be their guru. Because Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, and Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, this is all material. These are not spiritual designations. It does not help us understand a person's spiritual position. We don't recognize a person's advancement by his ashram or by his varna. How do we recognize a person's advancement? How do you know who is advanced and not?
Based on guna and karma.
Huh?
Based on their guna and karma.
Darshan. To see.
Well, guna and karma, that's what varnashram is. It's based on guna and karma. We just said it's not based on guna and karma. Not these things. Guna and karma. Chatur varna mahashastam guna karma. That's all guna and karma. And this is, it doesn't depend on guna and karma. So what does it depend on?
Advance in Krishna consciousness. How advanced are they?
Well, how do you know?
They speak the words as it is.
You have to hear. You have to hear from the person, right? You have to hear from a person for a while, then only you can understand. If you don't hear, then you don't know. Someone may look very advanced, you can't tell. Alright, so Sukadeva Goswami then says, was Vishwarup pleased? Oh, he was pleased. Yeah, I thought very nice. They're honoring me, they're being very respectful to me. And so Vishwarup is replying to them, and he says, O demigods, the acceptance of priesthood is decried as causing the loss of previously acquired Brahminical power. Oh, you hear? You want to be a guru? Alright, they're discussing, the GBC are discussing nowadays about women gurus and that, right? So what do you think, Maharaji? Are you ready to become a guru? Will you take disciples? The demigods, Vishwarupa is saying to the demigods, accepting the priesthood, meaning becoming like a guru, is decried. Why? It will take away your Brahminical power. You'll lose your, because if you accept disciples, you accept you have to take their karma. You have to take their whatever things they've done like that, You have to lose some of your own spiritual power. We're practicing spiritual life and for our own self, trying to progress ourselves. And somebody, oh Guruji, please can I be your guru? Can you be my guru? Can I be your disciple? You want to take their karma? Huh?
No.
You're not merciful, huh?
I'm dealing with my own karma. I'm not able to deal with my own karma.
You have to acquire Brahminical power. So anyway, Vishwarup says, how can someone like me refuse to accept your personal request? That's how it is, like, somebody comes, they want initiation. If you refuse them, you can refuse them. But if they're insistent, if they're genuine, and after some time you have to consider, you have to be merciful. Just like Lokanath Goswami was living in Vrindavan, and Narottam came to him. And Narottam had been ordered that you have to get initiation from Lokanath. And Narottam is coming to Lokanath, and Lokanath is saying, no, I don't want any disciples. Didn't want. Just like Gorkishore didn't want any disciples. And Lokanath didn't want any disciples. But Narottam was coming, and again. And then Narottam was doing service. He was serving him. Cleaning his place and everything. And he said, oh no, he didn't want it. But finally he said, okay, I have to accept. So, like that, just like Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, he has many people waiting for initiation.
Thousands waiting.
Yeah, thousands, many people all waiting. Some waiting, in Nepal, some are waiting 10 years to get initiation,
I heard for 14 years also, Maharaj.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Nepal, yeah. Trying to get them to initiate. But sometimes, there were some people from China, he just gave them initiation recently. They were So anyway, Vishwarup says to the demigods, you are all exalted commanders of the entire universe. I am your disciple and must take many lessons from you. He says, I am your disciple and must take lessons from you. Therefore, I cannot refuse you. I must agree for my own benefit. So, how about this? How can we understand this? They want him to be their guru, but he said, I am your disciple.
They are elderly people.
Huh?
They are elderly people. Elderly. Old people. Elderly.
What's he saying?
Elder.
Elderly.
The demigods are elderly people.
Yeah.
So he cannot say no to. He cannot say no that you are. You are my guru. I'm your guru. He's like humility, saying out of humility that you are my guru. Humility.
Okay. And Prabhupada would say sometimes, you are all sent by my spiritual master. Right? Prabhupada said like that. He said, you are all sent by my spiritual master to help me. So similarly here, Vishwarupa is saying, he said, I am your disciple. I have to take many lessons from you. So, and the purport Prabhupada talks about the duties of the Brahmana, what the Brahmana is supposed to do, what he's allowed to do, a real Brahmana, right? Patana, yajana, yajana, tigra. So yajana means the Brahmana becomes a priest of the population for the sake of their elevation. Yajana. What's he doing? What are the activities? Yajana?
But when he reads the scriptures, he explains the scriptures to others. He worships the deity. He helps others also understand deity worship. Yajana yajana. Dana. He takes charity instead of others, and he also gives charity.
Yeah, right. Yajana. So Prabhupada said, you take the post of the spiritual master, neutralize the sinful reactions of the one on whose behalf he performs yajna. Right? You give someone initiation, you accept them. Right? So you neutralize the sinful reactions. Right? Within taking initiation from the spiritual master will take away the karma, take away the sinful reactions.
It goes to the spiritual master.
Yes. But the point is, when Krishna consciousness, when you come for initiation, you shouldn't have any sinful reactions. Because you've been doing,
Chanting.
yeah, you've been doing devotional service. You've been, it said, Yani Kani Chapapani Brahmahadya Nikani. That just by going around Tosi, you wipe out the reactions of even the killing of a Brahmana. So you come to Krishna consciousness, you get initiation, you're supposed to be ready. You've left over, because we don't give initiation immediately, you have to prepare. Minimum period, 6 months or a year before we're saying Raghunath Maharaj, 14 years. The idea, you purify yourself, you get rid of the sinful reactions by devotional service. And then when you come for initiation, you're not carrying it, you've already got rid of your karma, and you've come to take initiation, and you make the vows, right? But if you do something sinful, then the spiritual master also becomes responsible. Yeah, we give that karma. Prabhupada said when he was leaving the body, he held up his arm, just bones, and there's no flesh on it. He said this is the result of accepting too many unqualified disciples. Prabhupada said like that, too many unqualified disciples.
He raised, I did not understand.
Huh?
He raised what?
Hand.
Held up his hand.
Oh, where is he?
So this is the result. Too many unqualified. So Prabhupada wanted disciple must be qualified. And we tried to do that in ISKCON, we tried to do that. Prabhupada was very merciful. He would come, he would give initiation, usually. But sometimes he would say, oh, too many people, make it less. Sometimes he'd say he didn't want to initiate everybody, and he'd tell make it less. Remove some of the people. Sometimes he would be strict. Anyway, nowadays in ISKCON, we try to be more and more strict about the initiation. Make sure that, because so many people come to Krishna consciousness, they go away again. They leave, they give up. So that's a problem. Of course, if they give up, then Guru is not responsible anymore, because they've given up the connection with the Guru. So long as they're trying to practice Krishna consciousness, and if they're doing sinful things, then the Guru takes it. But if they're not in Krishna consciousness anymore, then there's no bond there. The Guru doesn't have to worry, they've gone away, okay. Anyway, so becoming the spiritual master means you take someone's karma. So the results of the Guru's pious activities are also, whatever the Guru's been doing, whatever Bhakti he's giving that to his disciples. So it said here, priesthood is not accepted by learned brahmanas. They don't want to do that because I have to give up my own punya karma, my own bhakti, I have to give it to them. But of course that's a very material understanding. On the spiritual understanding, this is talking about material gurus like that. Okay, he's going to give mantras and stuff, going to give mantras for protection, to defeat the demons. It's not bhakti, he's not giving mantras for bhakti. He's going to give mantras to help them win the war against the demons. So it's a very material kind of guruship. Like in Prahlad when he was in the Gurukula. Anyway, Vishwarup agrees to become the priest because he has respect for them. Out of respect for them. So Brahmanas maintain themselves by austerity and penance. But if somebody becomes a guru just for the sake of getting some wealth, then that's very bad. If the guru is thinking, oh, I will become a guru and I will initiate all the rich people, and then I'll get charity from all, they will all maintain me, then that's very bad. That's not good at all. Very low mind. So when he was a guru, it says here, such priests never demand anything from their disciples to live in opulence, imitating Kshatriyas or Vaishyas. In other words, a pure Brahmana voluntarily accepts a life of poverty and lives in complete dependence on the mercy of the Lord. Right? That is the real Brahmana. He just simply depends on mercy. Just like Prabhupada told about, there was some sannyasi wanting to go somewhere, and he said, oh, send me the ticket and I will come. Send me the ticket. And Prabhupada said, no, you can't say like that. He said, that's not good. You depend on mercy. You can't be telling people, give me this, give me that. You just simply depend on mercy. At the end, Prabhupada said, the conclusion is that although a Brahmana may receive much opulence from his disciples, he should not utilize the rewards of his priesthood for his personal benefit. He must use them for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? And you see, in ISKCON we try to do that. Just like people who are spiritual masters, they have to give a financial report every year. They have to say how much donations they've received, and they have to say what they've done with it, where they used the money. And have to understand. It's not for their own sense gratification, it's for the service of the Krishna consciousness movement. So Vishwarup said, you are all my superiors, therefore, although accepting priesthood is sometimes reproachable, I cannot refuse even a small request from you. I agree to be your priest. I shall fulfill your request by dedicating my life and possessions. So, very nice, that's his mood. And so, Vishwarupa initiated all the demigods and he became their guru. Prabhupada writes here about this text number 38. A priest's first duty is to see that his disciples benefit spiritually and materially by all means. Then he is satisfied. A priest should never be interested in performing Vedic rituals for his personal benefit. Right? With material benefit, spiritual benefit. The Guru wants to see his disciples happy, materially and spiritually. We're not just concerned only about spiritual practice. They should also take care of their material needs, organize their life so that they can be happy, minds can be peaceful. So in this way Vishwarupa became the guru of the demigods, and he gave them the Narayana Kavacha weapon, which is it's mantras made up of Vishnu mantras, which help to protect people from danger. And with the help of this mantra, the demigods were able to go and conquer the demons and get back the heavenly kingdom. Alright? So are there some questions anywhere on that? Any
This Mahendra is Indra only?
Yes. Mantra is Indra. So you can see anyway, comparison, the priesthood, it's like guru, spiritual teacher. Yeah. So many similarities and things in relation to our own Krishna consciousness movement. And we have to understand the duties of the spiritual teacher, and how they have to be cautious about accepting disciples. Just like in Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami mentions that a spiritual teacher will be cautious about accepting too many disciples, and also about building temples, costly temples, right? That both these things can be an obstacle to devotional service. But it's pointed out, there's no harm in accepting many disciples if they're qualified. The problem comes if they're not qualified. So that's a problem. And, often we find, people come, they want to you don't know them very well. You don't know the spiritual master very well. They come, they want initiation, you don't know what they're doing. So a lot depends on temple managers and people who are in charge of the temple. But often the temple managers themselves, they're easily influenced. You want recommended? You have to give donation, then I'll give you recommendation. Sometimes these kind of things, they will think, you want to get recommended, you have to do this for me. You want me to give you recommendation, you do something for me. This kind of exchange, which is not really good. So it's a tricky business.
I had there was a situation where the spiritual master was initiating disciples. So one person, he brought like a big number of people for initiation, and the other devotees stopped, you cannot bring so many unknown people to the spiritual master. It will be not, it's difficult for the spiritual master. It's not good, because they all are not, properly established in Krishna consciousness. And then this person said, oh, you're doubting the potency of spiritual master? Because he is a very special person. He can, deliver everybody on the earth planet. So you're minimizing his, his position. You shouldn't be doing that. He has the capacity, and I will keep bringing people and keep initiating them like that. So these two disciples were quarreling. He's like, no, he's not good for him. No, he has this potency. So how to take it?
Well, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. You see, if people think like that, Prabhupada instructed very clearly, it said this is the result of accepting too many unqualified disciples. And so, you get reactions. You have to be very careful. And the thing is, you want to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. That's nice, they have the mood, they want to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. But we have to also see quality is there, not just quantity, you see. And Prabhupada himself spoke about boiling the milk. Prabhupada said, we already have enough people in Krishna consciousness, so now we have to boil the milk. We have to improve the quality. The devotee. So it's a difficult situation. People have to be considerate about these things. They have to consider the people they're bringing and they're recommending. It's not that you can just bring anybody and everyone for initiation. They have to be properly qualified. Otherwise, you create a very bad situation for the Krishna consciousness movement. Yeah, you can go to a Buddhist temple, you walk in the Buddhist temple, they'll give you a picture, you want a guru, and they'll ask you, you just walk in the door of the temple, they'll ask you, do you want a guru? Here's a picture of your guru. They have some places give initiation very easily, but the initiation which is given in Krishna consciousness is something very serious, very, very delicate. You have to handle it very carefully. So, we do try to be cautious. And people say like that, they have that kind of faith in their spiritual master that, oh, he can deliver the whole world. Well, yeah.
last story says that priest's first duty is to see that his disciples are benefited spiritually and materially. Why materially?
Why material?
I have a realization for materially spiritually. Like not realization, like when my parents wanted to settle here in Mayapur, so they went to this Guru Maharaj, Krishna Maharaj, and he said, he first spoke that like, do you have enough like how do you say, maintenance to settle here? Ask the devotee how much is it to like expenses in Mayapur. First get to know it, so that like before, like spiritually one may think, oh, we surrender everything and we just live in Mayapur, but he was not like that. He's like, be practical. So that's what I think.
Good. And some places also, the climate may not be suitable for some people. Some people somebody's from another place, maybe it's too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter. So you have to consider, somebody's going to come to Mayapur, what are you going to do? What's your engagement going to be? And when you come here to Mayapur, you have to be properly situated.
Recently, so this Jaintak Swami Guru Maharaj, disciple asked, I want to come and settle in Mayapur. Guru Maharaj said, you make 100 devotees and then come and settle in Mayapur. And then you do preaching in your hometown.
Okay. So bring 100 devotees.
Yeah, you preach.